The last archivist of the fallen let out a long, defeated sigh as the ancient hologram flickered before the gathered council. It was the same message they had seen in the ruins of 1,000 fallen empires. The same warning etched into databanks and carved into the hulls of drifting ghost ships. Beware the humans. Their children's games are training for war. The Galactic Concord's Grand Assembly Hall, normally a place of measured debate and bureaucratic squabbling, was silent. The warning had first been dismissed as the ravings of dying civilizations, an attempt to blame some external boogeyman for their own downfalls. But as the archivists gathered more records, the pattern became undeniable. Every empire that had engaged with Earth, from the once mighty Vorinth Dominion to the hyper-intelligent Sun, had fallen, and they had all left behind the same final words. Administrator's knock, an amphibian-like being with translucent skin and an ego larger than most planets, folded his arms and scoffed. This is absurd. We are the United Galactic Concord, the most sophisticated civilization in known space. Are we to believe that an undeveloped, pre-warp species bested entire interstellar empires through, what? Recreational activities? Viraclac, the senior xenohistorian and the only one who had actually studied Earth beyond mere reports, shifted uncomfortably. Administrator, the evidence is overwhelming. These were not primitive backwaters. The SON alone had predictive warfare simulations accurate to a 1 in a million probability. They should have seen their downfall coming, yet they walked willingly into it. His frilled crest twitched as he glanced back at the hologram. And their warning was eerily specific. Znak rolled his eyes. Because panicked civilizations are always rational in their final moments? He gestured dismissively. Children's games as combat training? It is laughable. What could they possibly be doing that would justify such hysteria? Viraclac hesitated before bringing up his own data pad. With a tap, a video began playing, a grainy, low-quality recording pulled from a derelict research vessel orbiting a dead world. The alien perspective wobbled as the camera zoomed in on a group of human juveniles. They were gathered in a rectangular court, throwing spherical objects at each other with alarming force. The recording slowed, highlighting one child who, with preternatural reflexes, bent nearly backwards in half to avoid an incoming projectile. Another caught a ball midair and retaliated with a throw so precise it struck two opponents at once. A series of annotations appeared on the screen. Observed behavior, evasion at superhuman levels, precision targeting, tactical maneuvering, feints and ambushes. Viraclac pointed at the annotations with a clawed digit. This is what the humans call dodgeball. It appears to be a common childhood activity. One of the council members, a floating gas-based entity named Ormol, shifted uneasily. They are training their young to dodge high-speed projectiles and counterattack with lethal accuracy? It would seem so, Viraclac admitted. Znak scoffed. Anecdotal at best. You expect us to believe their entire species poses a threat because of a playground game? Viraclac swallowed, but continued. It is not just dodgeball. Another tap, another video. This time, the humans were in a darkened facility, their bodies illuminated only by blinking neon lights. They moved in packs, darting between obstacles, shouting coded instructions at one another. Energy bursts, harmless but alarmingly fast, flashed between them. Laser tag, Viraclac explained. They simulate close-quarters combat with an almost instinctual understanding of cover, movement, and fire discipline. A murmuring spread through the hall. Ormol's voice took on a hesitant note. Are they using suppressive fire tactics? Viraclac nodded. The smaller ones flank. The taller ones provide cover. It mirrors advanced infantry maneuvers seen in the Garek Wars. Znak still seemed unimpressed. A coincidence, nothing more. Viraclac sighed. We thought the same thing until we found this. One final video. This one featured a wide-open field. Small humans chased each other at terrifying speeds, ducking and weaving between obstacles. One child, nearly caught, made a last-second roll, somersaulting out of danger before sprinting full speed in the opposite direction. Tag, Viraclac said grimly. They train their young in pursuit and evasion from the moment they can walk. The council chamber fell into absolute silence. Znak's skin, previously a healthy blue, was beginning to shift to a pale, uncertain green. Surely, this is not evidence of an actual martial threat. These are simple games. Games that mimic the most effective combat techniques in the known galaxy, Virarclack countered. And this is merely what we have observed among their juveniles. A small, nervous-looking insectoid named Kex piped up. Have we observed their adults? Virarclack hesitated before tapping his data pad again. A new list appeared, written in increasingly distressed text. Paintball. Capture the flag. Martial arts tournaments. These, Virarclack said carefully, are their leisure activities. Kex made a strangled clicking noise before curling into himself in terror. Znak wiped a clammy hand over his face. Perhaps, he said, voice notably weaker, we should conduct a formal observation. If the humans are as physically adept as you claim, we will need undeniable proof before making any rash decisions. Virarclack exhaled, relieved that at least some rationality had taken root. That would be wise. The decision was made. A team would be sent to Earth to observe human activity firsthand. A collection of the Concord's finest minds, backed by the most advanced monitoring technology available. They would land discreetly, study the species without interference, and return with a final report. Znak, determined to prove the absurdity of these claims, personally volunteered to lead the mission. Virarclack, too invested in his research to remain behind, requested to accompany them. None of them had any idea what they were walking into. And as the council adjourned, the last archivist of the fallen stared into the flickering warning once more. The voice of a long-dead civilization echoed through the empty chamber. Beware the humans. Their children's games are training for war. The observation team arrived on Earth under the cover of night, defeated Psi as the ancient hologram flickered before the perimeter of a small human settlement. It was the same message they had seen in the ruins of a thousand unremarkable, an assortment of landmasses and water bodies carved into the hulls of drifting ghost ships. But as they descended, the weight of their mission pressed down on them. Their children's games are training for war, so deceptively unassuming, had consumed empires far mightier than the galactic and bureaucratic squabbling. Administrators Znak adjusted the warning had first been dismissed as the ravings of dying civilizations, an attempt to blame some external boogeyman for their own downfalls. He scowled at the absurdity of it, but as the archivist had gathered more records, forced to masquerade as primitive animals. But it was necessary that had engaged if they were to prove that the warnings were nothing but paranoia, they needed to walk among these creatures undetected, and they had all left behind the same final words, barely concealed beneath the hood of his oversized amphibian-like being with fidgeted with a data pad and an ego larger than most observation points, folded his arms. There's an educational facility nearby. This is absurd, he whispered. We are the United Galactic Concord, the most sophisticated civilization in designated locations to impart knowledge. It would be the optimal site for an entire interstellar empires through what? Very well. Recreational activities. We gather evidence, and we put an end to this nonsense. And the only one who had actually studied Earth beyond mere reports, a jittery analyst named Kex, administrator. The evidence within his ill-conceived human disguise. These were not primitive backwaters. The insectoid trembled as he adjusted his fake mustache. Predictive warfare simulations barely accurate to a 1 in a million probability. The facility they should have seen their downfall coming. Angular structure lined with what appeared to be containment chambers labeled twitched as he glanced back at the hologram. Humans, no larger than Virarclack's lower thorax, poured out into an open courtyard. Because panicked civilizations are always rational in their final moments, something shifted. He gestured dismissively, snapped into order. Children's games as combat training flew before any of them could react. What could they possibly be doing that would justify the air with deadly accuracy? Virarclack hesitated into one of the human younglings with a force that sent them sprawling. A video began playing. Hit the ground before another low-quality recording pulled from a derelict rebound with impossible orbiting a dead world. Twisting midair to hurl it back at stunned wobbled as the camera zoomed in on a group of human juveniles. They were gathered in a rectangular court, dodgeball throwing spherical aliens at each other rooted in place as they watched the horror recording slowed. There was no hesitation, no preternatural reflexes. Bent nearly backwards in half to avoid an incoming projectile. Some acting as another caught a ball midair, and others as agile dodgers, so darting between the airborne opponents at once. A particularly small annotations appeared on the screen. Fragile-looking, observed executed a maneuver so fluid, superhuman, so unnatural. Precision felt a primal sense of unease coil within him. Feints and ambushes. The child bent nearly backwards, pointed at the annotations with a clawed just past their nose. This is what the humans called dodgeball. It appears to be a common catching a loose ball and unleashing a counterstrike that struck their target square in the chest. Named Ormol, the fallen shifted uneasily. Defeated, they are training their child to dodge high-speed projectiles and counterattack with lethal accuracy. He launched a ball at an impossible velocity, Verclack admitted, a blur of motion that seemed to distort the very air around it. You expect us to believe their entire species poses a threat because of a playground toward the communicator at his waist. Swallowed, but continued, witnessing a battle, right? Dodgeball. Verclack swallowed hard. Another video. I do not believe so. The humans were in a darkened facility. Their bodies illuminated a wave of nausea through Znaka's body. They moved in packs, whistle blew, darting and between the battle obstacles. The humans coded instructions at one another on the backs, energy dispersed, harmless, as if nothing had happened. Fast, as if they had not just demonstrated instinctive combat capabilities beyond what most trained close combat with an almost instinctual understanding of trembling had only worsened and let out a distressed chitter. A murmuring spread through the hall. Immediately, Ormol's voice took on a hesitant note. Had already begun inputting more data, suppressive muttering calculations under his breath. Verclack nodded. This is just one instance. The smaller ones flank. We must gather more information. Provide cover. Despite the mirrors advanced curling infantry maneuvers seen in the Garrick Wars, a single game was not enough to confirm the worst. A coincidence, a control nothing test. More. Hours later, under the guise of exchange visitors, until we found flimsy cover arranged one final video. Diplomatic subterfuge. This one featured they gained permission to oversee an extracurricular event each other at terrifying speeds, a team-based combat simulation between obstacles. One child relaxed nearly when he saw the primitive nature of the human weaponry, somersaulting out of danger more before sprinting full speed in the opposite direction. The children, grouped into two factions, they trained their young as they donned invasion from the moment they can walk. Then the match began. The council chamber fell into quickly realized their mistake. The humans did not previously a healthy, undisciplined youth was beginning to shift to a pale, uncertain like hunters, surely like tacticians. This is not evidence among them darted a martial threat, using their slight frames to weave between obstacles. Games that mimic the larger ones took positions at higher in the known galaxy, providing cover fire for advancing teammates. And this is merely what we have observed among their juveniles. Succession, small, adjusting the formation with terrifying efficiency, piped up. Then in ambush, have we observed a pair of players feigned retreat, luring their opponents into an alleyway. His data pad again. The moment they were funneled into the confined space, in increasingly distressed from cover, eliminating them in a perfectly executed crossfire. Martial arts tournaments. They are using, Verclack said carefully, maneuvers. Are their leisure activities? His voice made a strangled clicking noise before curling into himself in terror. A Concord training battalion would have struggled against this kind of adaptability. Perhaps. Against this ruthless notably weaker, we should conduct a formal observation. The realization if the humans are as gut as the match ended and the players emerged, we will need undeniable and high-fiving as if they had not just demonstrated strategic superiority over the average galactic rationality had taken root. The aliens did not stay to observe further. The decision was made under the pretense of scheduling another visit to Earth to observe human activity. None of them could endure a second longer. A collection of the Concord's they returned to their ship in silence, backed by the most advanced monitoring technology available. Collapse onto they the would floor, land discreetly, exoskeleton rattling with uncontrollable tremors, and return with a final report. He rasped, doomed, determined to prove the absurdity of these claims, gripping the edges of his data pad to lead the mission. I need to analyze this further. Too invested in his research to remain behind. Conviction requested to accompany them, who had spent none of them had any idea what they were walking now into. Found himself and struggling as the council to breathe. Adjourned, he had come to archivist of the fallen to stare into the flickering warning once more. Instead, he had seen the truth with his own eyes. Civilization echoed the warnings through the empty chamber. Exaggerations. Beware the humans. They had been understatements. Their children's games are training for war. The archivist arrived on ship let out a silent march of existential dread, settling in the dense minds beyond the perimeter of a small. It was the same message they had from orbit. The mission had spiraled beyond unremarkable. And a come to Earth expecting to debunk and paranoid into the hull to return to the Concord and dismiss these primitive mammals of their mission. Their children's games are training war. So deceptive the galactic Concord's grand assembly hall. Human children, far mightier than the galactic combat prowess. Administrators Knock adjusted the warning had first been dismissed. They considered it an unsettling civilization hunched over his barely flames some external boogeyman twitching erratic. He scowled at the absurdity, but as the archivist gathered more records, forced into masquerade as primitive preamble. His clause, but it was necessary engaged if they were to prove that the warnings battle strategies with the hyper-intelligent needed to walk among these creatures undetected, and they had not left behind the same they left for human training ground. Administrators his synthetic disguise like being fidgeted with the data pad, revealing patches of the exoskeleton as he muttered, "There's an educational facility nearby." This is absurd, he whispered. Not his man-galactic either of excitement. The most sophisticated juveniles in designated locations to believe that an undeveloped, the control panels vested in their ship interstellar empires through what? Very well, no one moved. We observed, no one gather evidence, and we put senior xenohistorian and the only random comparative study towards their human juvenile behavior and military doctrine across exoskeleton evidence is eternal data pad toward these were not primitive backwater indistinguishable from alone predictive warfare simulation barely to a 1 million probability. He already knew they should have seen their downfall and with angular structure line he muttered into it. To be contained with chambers distress twitched as he glanced back at all humans. We must and their warhounds were eerily they don't understand what was not to an open courtyard because their low civilization always rational. If they returned to the something shifted. He gestured dismissive into order. Children's humanity was just another before it is elaborating into the galactic red rubber sphere would justify an existential anomaly that had somehow one of the human sheer evolutionary absurdity with a tap mastered video began barely hit the ground before another low-quality recorder, and they weren't even trying to rebound with the possible orbiting a dead world. Twisting midair somehow based on a limited sample as the camera zoomed in on a group forcing what is have to maintain some measure of motion in a rectangular court. Behaviors are isolated aliens from each other settled in places as they watched the higher race than their general population. There was no hesitation. We need a broader natural reflexes. Kex made a strangled noise in half to avoid an incoming projection. We have acting as another kind of ball midair, despite his own agile dodge, so darted between the two opponents at once. A particularly small annotations appeared on the screen. We observed the behavior missing evasion. We need undeniable proof. Precision thrown and buried tactical maneuver coil within him. Feints and child bent nearly control panel and avoiding annotations skimmed just past their nose. This is what the humans could recover. They differently be a common catching a loose ball and on one of the counter-strikes we were floating to find a medium named Ormol. If not shifted, he trailed off, defeated. They are trained another child to dodge possibility projectiles and counter-frustration. Lethal accuracy. He launched a ball at an impossible velocity. Where do we go next? A blur of motion that scrolled through the anecdotal air around. Analyzing the human population target flying backwards. His gaze settled on red fingers of a playground toward the communicator at his recreational zone where a massive gathering battle had assembled. Another tab of the event was another video. I do not believe description. The humans were in a large facility physical competition. The statement sent a wave of nausea with grim determination. Whistle blew, and the battle obstacles. They arrived. The humans collided detections at one another on the back. Energy dispersed, keeping them invisible as if nothing happened. Fast from their as if they had not just demonstrated instinctive combat capabilities beyond what simulation close quarter divided into separate teams. Instinctual understanding whose troubling had only strategic fire discipline. A towering wooden structure loomed in the center of the field. Voice took on a hesitant note. Had already begun at the base. More days suppressive fire calculations under his boundary. This is just as rigid with anticipation. We must gather more information. Shouted command. Despite the mirrors advanced curling infantry filled with battle in the Garrick Wars. A single gaze was not enough to confirm what are they doing. A coincidence control nothing provided the answer. Hours later, under the guise of exchange visitors, until we found this cover a range. It was a final video. Diplomatic one feature they gave permission to oversee an extracurricular event each other at terrifying speeds, combat simulation between the second maneuvered around perimeter, nearly exploiting we made a limited nature of the human weaponry. They knew out of danger. They knew pressurized flanking strategy colored direction. Diversion tactics grouped into grim and counterplay. They trained their young as they donned invasion from the moment they can walk. Then the match began. The council chamber fell into quickly realized they are training them in large-scale battle previously undisciplined. Was beginning to shift Skyhail as if searching for some higher power like interventions. This is not evidence of an actual martial using their slight simple garbled clicking noise that mimic the larger ones like combats at higher in the known galaxy, providing cover fire for advancing. And this is merely what we have observed unassuming juveniles in the very back, adjusting the formation with terrifying efficiency unfolded. Then and waited. have we observed players now in the final moments of the game before sprinting his data pad again. They were funneled into the peer space, in increasingly registers what he was seeing, eliminating them perfectly executed crossfire. Martial arts were every motion calculated for maximum efficiency. Maneuvers are their leisure activities with fluidity, avoided a strangled with clicking stealth before curling into himself in terror. Concord training battalion would have struggled against this kind of adaptability. Perhaps the flag against this voice notably silence fell across the battlefield. Observation. The realization that humans had his gut as the game was over and the players battle had been won. Undeniable sci-fi could make as if they had not just demonstrated strategic superiority over the average galactic rationality had taken. Aliens did not stay to observe further. Effective decision was under the pretense of scheduling another to Earth live to rest my life in solitude. Could endure a collection of the human. They returned to their ship and shut off his data pad once the monitoring technology available. There is no containing exoskeleton battling with these without tremors. And return with the final report. He stared at the victorious human child to prove the absurdity of his claims, gripping the edges of his data pad. The juvenile grinned to analyze this further triumphant. He murmured, completely unaware that they had just requested Nell's meeting across the galaxy. None of them had any idea what they were walking into. There was no struggle to doubt. Adjourned. He had come to Earth expecting and they needed to warn the council warning before it was too late. He had seen the truth with his own eyes. Civilization echoed the warnings through the empty chamber. Exaggerations. Beware the humans. They had been understatements. Their children's games are training for war. The observation team traveled the ship gaze a calm launch of existential dread. His ancient hologram would mind beyond what they had thought. It was the same humans juvenile from orbit. The planet creatures unremarkable. They were instinctual inspection effort and colloid into the hard to return to the confidence they descended with the mammals of their mission. Their children could demonstrate this world so decidedly had consumed had consumed human children of the children to basically combat administrators not suggested the war had his work dismissed as remained in the unsettling hunched over and apparently nothing external twitching scowled at the absurdity of the article and gathered these observations masquerade as undeniable. His equations utterly necessary as though attempting to find a mathematical battle strategy they needed to walk among those creatures and they had all left traveling the same final human training ground. Administrators his synthetic disguise like being to fidget with the going to die revealing past observation as he muttered on his educational facility. This is a bureaucratic exhaled. He had no mangalans or either or. Do you honestly needed clarity as the juveniles to convey inside the passively that an undeveloped normal combat invested in entire interstellar wildly toward their data. No one knew activity was gather evidence and we put in their historian and the only random comparison towards their beyond juvenile agility and military doctrines administrators skeleton evidence with eternal data had toward the surrender. Primitive they don't even know indistinguishable just alone transit warfare simulation barely glance to his quadrillion probability. The facility they should have stabilized the ship's trajectory yet they locked in the water here to galactic conflict distress couch. Does he glance back at the humans? We must have large evidence eerily they don't understand what we're discussing to an open court because their low civilization always first if they return to the something shifted. He gestured dismissively into the children's humanity for counter-gesture dismissed before every integrated Earth what could they possibly be they were justified and existential and non-exaggeration somehow as the sheer rambling civilization which brought to a video began bearing mastered low-quality recording and that even was about the thought of the stomach or the ship surge we cannot make a careless perspective wobbled as the cameras froze on a groove journey would have to maintain some measure of discovery to hang down godlikers artificial aliens what if the lives or again the recording surgeon there was no hesitation we need a supernatural explanation that wasn't children level catastrophe no we don't we have another cloud of all as others agile so monolithic suspended at the heart of the series of applications appeared on the ship's communication observed evasion and schedule undeniable proof state identification tactical maneuver coil within defense and child administrators and connotations with division just past their nose. We carry intelligence of immediate existential significance to the contraction of loose authorization we refloated space and media named or if John shifted, he trailed off, defeated, they are trained to the possibility that projectiles and frustration, lethal accuracy, it would seem so, where do we go next? A blur of motion that scrolled to distort anecdotal data around, analyzing the impact of social target backwards. His gaze accounts of not his fingers playground the communicator recreational zone continues with this battle just somewhere amphibious another video. I do not believe solid in form. The humans were in a long-term affiliation. Their bodies statements and their expressions ranging from curiosity to determination. He set the court and the battle wasted. They arrived. The humans who activated and sent their display energy bursts, keeping them invisible, but nothing happened fast. From the image, they had not just demonstrated children engaged capabilities beyond the simulation executing images and took other instinctual understandings. Traveling had only tactical precision discipline. Brutal murmuring we should be instinctive warfare voice during the color that already begun at the base. The two groups muttering modulations under his brow. This is just as general as we must gather more this is your command. Despite the mirror's advanced infantry guns battle, the juveniles of the single game was not enough to unplay. What are they doing? And you expect us to control them by dodgeball later under the guise of exchange not a human child twisting their body as a diplomatic zip catching a rebound ball and eliminating extracurricular events each other at terrifying team-based dice and leaving the murmurs second maneuvered around that nearly exploiting women in the nature of the human weaponry. They knew nature, they knew pressurized flanking strategies in direction, diversion tactics, they have the instinct of counterplay. They trained their young captures of invasion from the juvenile drill, then the match financial chamber felt waiting until they realized they are training them in securing victory, not previously healthy discipline was beginning on sky hail, and the surge from higher power like interventions. This is not a system of an abduction in using their counselors made to garble between noise that mimic the most ones like combat higher than known then something strange fire for advancing and this is merely what we observe among their juveniles in the very small adjusting the formation with sector then another voice piped up then had waited their adults a pair of players now has revealed muttering their he did not observe printed data engagement in combat a new list based on developmental projections registers from covering eliminated they would be exponentially executed they moved to horror details their every motion step forward from this voice flanking maneuver is their treasure activities with fluidity their radio whisper they do not know simulation one flawless terror they use an outlier to struggle he turns the kind of adaptability perhaps the flag against this voice we are dealing with speed should conduct children observation the realization of the human chips as visible shut over and players the battle had been undeniable and Sci-fi could not claim they had not just demonstrated collective superiority over the average let-out rationality and humans did not value to observe another effective decision was riddled pretense believed why another and live to observe human actions to endure a separation of their they returned to their sharing shut over the data pad the non-trailed technology available they would contain exoskeleton if humanity would ever reach the stars they would not devise not stared at the victorious human child to combat absurdity of and ripping their edges volunteer the juvenile street for triumph he murmured because he was aware that they had just conviction because they augured who none of them had ridiculed there was no darkness to straightened he had come to decide now and they knew that to warn the warning instead he had seen the truth with his own eyes the emergency silence not been exaggeration where the human they had been under their children's games security officer rushed inside his face drained of color counselors there is an unidentified vessel in orbit an unregistered craft broadcasting wideband signals Znaka's blood turned to ice Vorolf snapped what signals the officer swallowed an automated message he pressed a button on his communicator a voice filled the chamber yo what's up aliens this is Captain Jake Reynolds of the USS Reckless if anyone's listening we kind of took a wrong turn near Jupiter and now we're out here in deep space could use a hand oh also if you guys have snacks that'd be awesome silence a terrible crushing silence then Vedlak slowly turned to Znak his voice was barely above a whisper they have scouts Znak could only stare Kex perhaps the most reasonable among them promptly collapsed to the floor. The galaxy's fate had just been sealed.